So in tonight's assignment hour, we're going to do part two of the Dominion of Kings. So last time round, we looked at the point of view that dominion starts with you. And we went through who you are in God's eyes, who you are, being you're a child of the God Most High, and you're a king and priest on the earth for him, and the authority you carry and should be operating in. So tonight we are going to look at how we take dominion over our business, and then consequently how we take dominion in the marketplace. So they're the things we're going to look at tonight. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is posture and position. So to take dominion over your business, your heart needs to be postured towards Christ, and your mind needs to be positioned to work with God and not work from your own strength or your own understanding. So with this, what I believe, and I know this may not be entirely true for everyone on the call, and I don't want to be legalistic with this point of view, but I believe that if you give God a day a week for him to shape you, direct you, guide you, then your working with God becomes very seamless as opposed to fits and starts, right? So I think dedication to God in that way is an important step to dominion over your business. And what that looks like is you're not worried about whether you have the time to do this. Rather, you're like, I don't have time not to do this because I need God. I need his input. I need to be doing this with him rather than kind of including him in bits and pieces, right? So that's the first thing I want to say about posture and position. The next thing is that we need to have things in order. So what does it look like to have dominion over your business? Well, dominion is getting all the playing pieces on the table and having them in the right places, right? So what are the playing pieces? Well, the playing pieces are the finances of your business, your diary and making your time count. It's the systemization of your business. It's the sales and marketing of your business. It's having key people in key positions in your business. And it's about intentionally working on your business across these areas to bring order into your business, the order that's required for you to truly have that dominion. So dominion over your business in my world is very similar to mastery of your business, because once you've mastered your business for things like growth and scale and expansion, a number of cool things happen. Well, firstly, growth, scale, and expansion happens way easier, and you create freedom for yourself to basically follow your assignment. So we'll say it from that point of view so that you can have that marketplace dominion. And by having mastered your business, what tends to happen then is that your business becomes a well-oiled machine, which means cash flow is operating in surplus. And not only that, when you master your business, you start to rise up in the marketplace as a leader in your industry, a go-to business that has a solid reputation. And so people are now seeking after doing business with your business because of the reputation that is going before you, right? And that's typically what follows mastery. Now, in addition to that, you need to start taking a leadership focus, right? And so to have that dominion over your business requires you to step down out of management in the business and up into leadership of the business. And so this is what that looks like is you start to install managers in your business that you now lead. And you replace what you've been managing in the business with others managing those things and you leading those managers. So here's the thing, right? You can get a lot done with 40 hours a week, but if you've now got 3 people in there and you take an hour a week with each of them, you get 120 hours out of those people for those 3 hours, right? So there's a multiplication as you step into leadership in your business, right? So and let me just say, it has to be effective leadership. It can't just be, ho-hum leadership. It has to be right on the money. And the thing about mastery is it's a process, right? And in my experience, being in this game like I have for almost 24 years now, it takes 2 to 3 years to master your business. But there's a proviso on that, and the proviso is you have to be fully dedicated to it. You can't be mucking around. You can't have any delay on what you're doing. You implement what you need to implement as you need to implement. You put things in place that need to be put in place when they need to be put in place. And so it's about being diligent and intentional of mastering your business. And here's the other thing I've discovered, because different people take different periods of time. If you're not as diligent, if you're not as intentional, then instead of taking 2 or 3 years, it can take 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So this then becomes up to you how quickly you master it, but you can master it within 2 to 3 years. And I think as kingdom builders, we need to have an intention around that, that we want to master this as quickly as possible so that we can get on with the things that we're supposed to be doing. And the cool thing is that once you have mastered your business, things open up. And that's when you start to become that marketplace leader, as I mentioned before. And when you become a marketplace leader, you become a voice of reason in your marketplace, a voice of reason in your industry. You become a voice of influence. And I think this should be the intention and desire of every kingdom builder, is to be in that place where people seek them out. They seek an audience with them, that they want to know, what's so different about you, and what influence do you have in that marketplace, right? So we want to make sure that first we take dominion over our business. So dominion is like rulership and kingship. So that thing is now working for us. It's almost like our business is now like a servant to us. It's serving us in the things we need to do. And when that happens, you earn the right to take dominion in the marketplace. And what that looks like is, it's not a finish line, it's a starting line. It's a starting line to have the influence that you're supposed to as a marketplace king. And so with that starting place in the marketplace, you now have influence. As I mentioned, people start listening to you. The way you do business has a kingdom impact because you operate with truth, you operate with justice, with mercy, with grace, and dare I say, with an all shall prosper mentality. So you become that voice in the marketplace and in the industry where your opinion actually matters, where people actually seek that out. And when we do that, it means that we can have a godly impact in our marketplace, which in other words means that we have a kingdom impact. Because first we took dominion over our business, which then allowed us to take dominion in the marketplace. And here's the thing. In the marketplace, you'll have that influence because you're respected, because you have that reputation, because people have seen what you've done with your business and they see who you are through your business, right? So it's almost like a testing process to prove to the marketplace who you are, but we don't want to just prove who we are as a successful business person. We want to show ourselves to be a righteous king in the marketplace through our business. And when we do that, we will have impact for the king, right? And we have that because we've earned it, right? So it is a process that we earn, which starts with dominion over our life, then dominion over our business, which then leads into dominion over the marketplace. And that's really where we want to be as kings in the marketplace, is to have that dominion. Because when we really and truly step into our assignment, it is much more powerful for us to operate when we actually have a point of dominion in the marketplace, because we can just get more done for the king. We can get more done because of the journey we've been on, the fact that we've earned that right to be a king in the marketplace and not just a king over me. So it starts with a king over me, a king over my business, which then earns the right to be king in the marketplace, where we can really do damage to the enemy, but value for the kingdom. So I want to have a chat about that tonight as to